TBT is headed into the home stretch. Tonight, the Kansas alums come into Lexington to take on the Kentucky alumni, with the winner headed to the TBT championship and the $2 million prize. Two crown jewels of college hoops, KU and UK. And it starts right now on FS1. Welcome to Kentucky. It means Triple Crown champions here and high-stakes basketball. And alumni teams representing the two winningest programs in the history of college basketball go head-to-head tonight in the alumni championship game of TBT. Jayhawk hoops for the Kansas alums and La Familia for the Kentucky alumni. We're back at historic Memorial Coliseum here in Lexington. One of these two teams is going to play for $2 million on Sunday. You see how they got here. Kentucky roared back from behind to beat Syracuse on this floor over the weekend. And on Monday night, the Kansas alums just got by Wichita State to set up this matchup here tonight, with the winner going to the championship game on Sunday. Hi, everybody. Bob Rathman, Mike Bray. Great to have you with us tonight. And the reason, Mike, these two teams are with us in this championship game for the alums is they've had great guard play. Zeke Mayo has been on fire the last two games, and Frank Mason III for Kansas has turned into the closer.
Well, the Jayhawks are going to go as Mason and Mayo go, and we saw Zeke Mayo a lot. He was with our Atlanta Hawks Summer League team in Vegas, but he can get off the dribble with speed and quickness and finish, and we do know he has really deep range. He is a threat from deep out there. And then Frank Mason with middle ball screens all night. Strength to get to the bucket, and then he can stretch you and pull it out, and he's become the Elam assassin.
For the Kentucky alumni, Archie Goodwin missed the first two games of the tournament, but since he showed up after that Louisville blowout at Freedom Hall, they haven't lost, and Goodwin's become the leading scorer in the tournament.
Archie to the rescue, size over the top. He gets the spots on the floor, and with that length, he can get his shot up over the top, and he can just go ahead and break down a defense, and he senses the moment and wants to take big shots.
We've got a big crowd here in Lexington, Kentucky tonight to watch the Alumni Championship game. Will it be Kentucky? Will it be Kansas? We will find out next on FS1. The Kansas alumni against the Kentucky alumni in the Alumni Bracket Championship game here in Lexington tonight. Let's meet the starting lineups. And keep in mind, this Kansas alumni team, as you see the three-guard attack, they don't get a ton of points up front, but they're good defenders and good on the glass. And the Kentucky alumni team really coming on strong, particularly to close out games with their defense.
I think Kentucky has really improved in 10 days. It's been neat to watch, and they really trust their defense, and they've got the 6'5" club, a number of guards they can throw at Mayo and Mason.
You're looking at Sharon Collins. What's so cool about the matchup tonight? Both head coaches are graduates of their schools, and they both were on national championship teams. And there's John Hood, who was on that Kentucky title team when he was here. He's done a whale of a job coaching Kentucky.
They both have done great jobs with their group, and watching John Hood challenge his guys down against Syracuse, they responded to him and finished that game.
Bill Covington, Wes Ford, and John Hendricks are the officials tonight. And, Mike, they're easy to find because they're wearing these shirts that say ref.
That is the one thing about TBT a couple years ago I noticed and just love. You know, they definitely don't wear that in public, I can tell you that much.
And Mr. Covington to toss it up between Jamari Traylor and Willie Cauley-Stein. On that famous UK logo at mid-floor, we're underway with the Alumni Championship game. Kentucky in white, Kansas in blue, and here we go. Darryl Morsell matched up with Frank Mason III. And a quick shot that's short by James Maynard-Bell to get things started.
ran a little set, get an open look, a great look to start off.
Mason out of the double team. Trailer. Rebound, Morcell. Kentucky looking to push. Here's Goodwin. Stop and pop from the corner. Cauley Stein tips it out of bounds.
We've seen Kentucky have good success early in these games when they've been able to run off their misses. Let's watch Cauley Stein deal with this pick and roll with these guards. He's going to have to deal with it all night. I think he's one of the smartest pick and roll defenders I've seen.
Right down the middle for an opening dunk by Jacob Hanna.
Great cut. Defense turns their head. Cut.
The winner of this game will host the championship game on Sunday. Will either be here in Lexington or in Topeka. Andrew Harrison overcame a sore back to get back in the lineup tonight. He missed the second half of the Boeheim's Army game. Turnover.
Active hands by the Kentucky alums.
Harrison, scoop to the hoop. A lot of contact. 3 men down on the baseline. At the other end of the floor, Mayo pulling. Missing. Harrison. Take a look. Drives it now. Cauley Stein to clean it up.
Offensive rebounding. Nothing like crashing.
Well, Cauley Stein has been like a new man, Mike. He had those foot problems in games 1 and 2. Didn't play many minutes against Louisville's alums. But since game 3, he's been awesome.
He has really given them life. There was the double team of Mason on the pick and roll. We're interested to see how they change the coverages on Frank Mason.
Maynard Bell. Harrison. In the middle, Maynard Bell lobs it up. Cauley Stein. Good.
Maynard Bell has been a great portal pickup for him. Defending, making key offensive plays.
Former Villanova Wildcat. And this is the activity we've seen from Willie Cauley Stein, Mike. And we've already got some guys whooping at one another. But as you look at Cauley Stein, this has been his strong suit. It's been good on the glass and obviously excellent with blocking shots and defending.
He just really knows who he is. You know, he rolls, he hangs around the bucket defensively and offensively, and he is a put-back guy. The great roll, size, length over the top. Great pass by Maynard Bell. But Willie Cauley Stein always has his hands ready.
4-2 Kentucky. And smooth touch by Hanna from the corner.
He's going to have to make some shots for him because they're very aware of Mayo and Mason.
And that is Jacob Hanna's first three-pointer made in TBT. He was 0 for 7 coming in. And the Jayhawks with a miss that time from Billy Preston. 5-4 Kansas. Beyond the reach and out of bounds.
Trying to post Mayo up a little bit with Whitney. Just overthrew it.
Nice touch from the Wichita native Jacob Hanna. Played at Washburn, where the Kansas alums have been based in TBT, and that's where we'll be Sunday if they win this game at Washburn. 5-4.
Great switch, aggressive switch of a pick and roll there. Here's that Kentucky defense, the ball pressure.
And Morcell going against Preston, and Preston wins this one on the roll.
Preston is an impressive skill. He's like a big guard. He really has guard skills for a 6'9" guy. Great finish.
28 years old. He's averaging 8 boards and 11 points a game in TBT. Jayhawks go up by 3. Inside to Cauley Stein, a turnover. Good hands that time by Hanna. Takes it down the middle. Travel on trailer.
Checking in for Familia, number 3, Chris Coffey.
There's that extra step. Sometimes you pump those brakes and it costs you a step.
It's a big-time finish over size. Again, Preston always been impressive with his guard skills at 6'9".
He was unbelievable prep. McDonald's All-America. Another Kentucky turn or pass that time by Whitney. 7-4 Kansas. Just the start of things here in Lexington. Mason and a foul.
Now that's crafty. They're giving him a really hard look and a double team on the pick and roll, and he splits it, a clinic type split of a pick and roll. And then here's going to be an issue. He can get to the lane and draw fouls with his strength and craftiness. So, you know, this is going to be an interesting strategy for Kentucky's defense, dealing with him, middle pick and roll.
Frank Mason out of Petersburg, Virginia. What a story. Looked for all the world like he was going to go to play for Towson in Maryland and ends up in Kansas, and the rest, they say, is history.
Told us the story today. He was going to go to Towson. He went to a year of prep school, and then he played AAU again, and then everybody got their hands on him. But the Big 12 Player of the Year and National Player of the Year and G League Player of the Year. What a career for Frank Mason.
And he's been dynamite in hitting 3 straight Elam Enders. Goodwin from the top.
That's the kind of calmness Archie Goodwin has off of a ball screen. He just gets those feet calmly set and shoots over the top of you.
Mason recovers. Takes the corner 3. Crashing Preston. From the wing, Bragg misses. Another chance from Mayo. Chris Coffey lays it back. 3 balls short by Darryl Morcell. Second chance for Whitney. And it's out to Kansas.
Chris Coffey comes in and gives them such energy.
Kansas 8, Kentucky 7. Archie Goodwin on it early here in Lexington. 8-7, Kansas with the lead. Timeout with 3:40 to go in the first. Inside the Kentucky huddle, you're looking at head coach John Hood, a former Kentucky Mr. Basketball at Madisonville and North Hopkins High School, battled back from a torn ACL while he was a player here in Kentucky, and a member of the 2012 NCAA championship team under Coach John Calipari, with a couple of his very famous teammates.
That's a great picture, and we mentioned this in game 1, how they started referring to him as coach while he was an undergraduate because he was so helpful. Willie Cauley-Stein with that left-hand jump hook over the top, playing against Baylor here. His length and ability to play above the rim, and really a smart basketball player.
After his time in the NBA, played overseas, but has said this is his last competitive basketball. He would love nothing more than to pocket that $2 million prize and go out a winner on his old home court.
Well, he has certainly given them a lift once they got that foot fixed. He has been active, and he's playing heavy minutes for them lately. So if they can win it tonight, he's got a little rest before Sunday.
Sean McNeil has come in. Goodwin just hit that 3 a moment ago, but overall, Mike, the shooting for both clubs has been a little shaky.
And they've been open looks, but we have seen that. I don't know what the shooting percentages are for the TBT, but they have not been great.
Well, Kansas, for example, is shooting 26% as a team on threes in the tournament. Yet here they are, playing for a chance to go to the ultimate championship game. Mayo has been hot, missed this one. Corralled in the corner by Hannah. Preston rises up. Good fight on the glass with Coffey and Bragg, and it's out of bounds to Kansas.
Kansas doing a great job early of getting on the offensive boards, and that's the one thing you got to, when you're not making shots, get to the board and get another opportunity or maybe get fouled.
Approaching the 3-minute mark in the first quarter. Alumni championship game here in Lexington, Kentucky. Preston blocked, and what a block by Khalil Whitney. Getting the love of the fans That was impressive.
What a lift he's given him. This is a big-time defensive play. To feel that and get up and block it, he's given him great defense. It's just great athletic ability and feel. One of those many 6'6", 6'7" guys that can guard for Kentucky.
Mason, end of the shot clock. Rebound McNeil. Harrison. Here's Goodwin. McNeil trying to get hot. He had 2 threes in game 1 against Louisville. He's gone 1 for 10 since.
The law of averages. The man is due, and he finally got a clean look. People have really defended him up until that look right there.
And a tremendous drive to the basket by Frank Mason III.
There is a veteran guard squaring his shoulders up and getting downhill.
Tied at 10.
Harrison really wants the mismatch.
Puts it up over Preston and misses.
Sometimes a mismatch base in bad shots.
Mayo. And over the glass and out of bounds. Zeke Mayo. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Here comes that 3 from McNeil. If he can give them a couple of those, that's huge off the bench.
And Goodwin with a great find. A left hand over size. Just a heck of a finish by Frank Mason.
32 years young, the former Naismith National Player of the Year at KU.
And he is in great shape, Bob. They're going to have to deal with him all night with different, fresh defenders.
A white out here for La Familia inside historic Memorial Coliseum in Lexington. The fans responding. And so too Willie Cauley-Stein.
That has been a go-to set for them. They love coming back to that pick and roll and throwing over the top.
Mason on the handoff. This is 40-year-old Mario Chalmers, the former champion Miami Heat, back for Kansas. Mayo, tough shot. Loose ball to Cauley-Stein. Ahead, here's Morcell. McNeil steps back. Ten on the shot clock for McNeil. Trying to shake Preston. Can't. And this one goes out of bounds over to Kansas.
Great set. Throwing over the top. Little pick and roll him again. They've used that out of timeouts. They've used it to start a half, to start a quarter. And it's been very successful for them. All right, here we go.
4 turnovers for La Familia. 12-10, 40 seconds to go in the first as Chalmers trying to make that pocket pass and is kicked out of there.
Little screen away, pin down for Chalmers, seeing if they can get him involved a little bit. They could use really a lift from him tonight.
Chalmers, number 15, of course, retired in Lawrence.
Had to have made the biggest shot in Kansas history.
Oh, boy.
Right?
So against Memphis. 12-10 Kentucky. And we got an illegal screen on Carlton Bragg Jr. as Harrison went flying.
Kentucky's defense on the point of attack on the ball screens on Frank Mason has been fabulous. Switch, double team, hedge. They've got Kansas pushed out with their ball pressure, and that is their greatest strength.
And talking earlier with the coaches, and John Hood was telling us, hey, listen, we've identified these 2 Kansas guards. That's the dual heads of the snake, and we've got to take care of both guys.
And it was interesting, he said they had a debate, and they actually asked, like, all right, who wants to guard Mason? Who wants to guard Mayo? And they kind of talked about it with these veteran guys to see who would be the matchup. But again, their defensive depth is a big advantage.
Knocked away by Carlton Bragg Jr. 9 seconds on the game clock, 6 to shoot. Goodwin getting pressure, shoots over Hannah and connects.
I like that out of bounds play where you just throw it to Goodwin and say, go get us one.
Yeah.
I like that. I want to get that one.
Archie, get buckets. Good one.
Let's not overcoach. Get it to Archie. Get out of his way.
I think we're going to have some time placed back on the clock. Here's the shot.
I mean, he's got such an advantage with the length and the size. He gets a little bump. He gets to a spot and shoots over the top of you.
3.2 has been placed back on the clock here for Kansas. The Kentucky Lumps set up the pressure.
What's your full court set? They got a little something here. Get it to Mason with some momentum. That's a pretty good look.
And it counts if it goes.
That's a really good look.
Just a little too high off the glass. Kentucky finishes the first quarter on an 11-2 run.
Well, it's got to be their defense. There's no question about it. They've defended right out of the gate against the Jayhawks.
They hold Kansas to 10 first quarter points and lead it by 5 after 1. In 2012-13, they were together for one Kentucky season. Archie Goodwin and Willie Cauley-Stein reunited in La Familia and picking up where they left off.
They have been so good for the Kentucky alums, and Cauley-Stein got them started early, being around the bucket. Great pass and a heck of a finish, and this is their favorite set. They come back to this set a lot, roll him and throw over the top, and then this guy, when he gets an open look and his feet are calm, he's knocking it down. And how about the end of quarter with that little step back jump shot over the top?
Willie Cauley-Stein 6-3 early after the first quarter. Where's Kansas go to get some offense, Mike? Yes, Frank Mason's had some dazzling drives, but he scored only 3. And Zeke Mayo's 0 for 5.
There's no question that Mayo's going to have to get going here a little bit. He's had some looks, but they've got to get started. It can't all be on Frank Mason.
Just a swarming, suffocating Kentucky defense. From the wing, Andrew Orr.
They double-teamed the ball screen. They gave a good look, but they are so aggressive on the point of attack on the pick and roll.
Goodwin hooks the pass to Harrison. Tipped, but into the hands of Andrew Orr, another player light-handed that played at Washburn. 15-10. Into the pocket, Bragg. They can't hit anything.
Everything is so difficult against this Kentucky defense.
Harrison. 18-10.
Great find by Archie. One dribble to draw the defense, and he gets Harrison a clean look.
Early in the second, the Jayhawks need a hoop in the worst way. Mayo gets contact and will shoot a pair. But the shooting, as the game goes on, Mike, outside for Kentucky continues to improve.
Getting better, and again, I thought Archie set that up with a little dribble at Harrison's man and drew the defense.
You have to wonder how much gas is in the tank for Kansas. We found out this morning in shoot-around, they bust their way here overnight from Kansas to get here. Pulled in at 6 a.m. and had shoot-around at 10:45, a nap, a meal, and right back out on the court. That's tough.
They had better life than I would have expected at 10 a.m. this morning, but that's kind of hard to regenerate. Now, Mayo saw a free throw go in. 2 free throws. Maybe that gets him started. When a scorer has had a tough time and maybe he can get to the foul line and see one go in, that can jumpstart him.
Here's the Kentucky three-point story. 4 of 8. Goodwin's already got 2 of them. Hustle by Maynard Bell and knocked out by Kansas.
Pick and roll with Goodwin and Cauley-Stein. Something they love to go to a lot.
Long lob to Morcell. Harrison touches the paint. Very important for Kentucky. They've got to get into the lane to open things up. And there he goes. Goodwin left it short, but he got fouled.
John Hood talked about that with us, how he's really stressed paint touches and not just settling for three-point shots.
And what does that do for you?
Well, number one, just what we saw, it draws fouls. But it can really draw the defense in, and then you kick out and you get cleaner three-point looks, or you don't have to settle for that three off a drive and a kick. Drive the closeout again. Keep driving the closeouts. And really, Kentucky's personnel's built to drive, not to shoot threes.
Do you go into the paint with the mindset to score first and then look for your teammates just to make the defense commit a little harder?
Yeah, I think you want to get in there and kind of really read the defense. And you want to tell guys not to look to score when they get in there. But when you get in there, defenses really react and kind of close in on you and be ready to kick it out. The Atlanta Hawks will use the phrase eyes out when you get in there. Eyes out.
Maynard Bell, count it, and a free throw to come.
What a great read. He kind of fakes the dribble handoff and turns the corner. Veteran basketball move by him. Let's watch this. I'm going to dribble handoff. No, I'm not. And I'm going to the hole for a three-point play.
James Maynard Bell playing in his third TBT, but he hasn't been in this event since 2016 when he played in TBT for the Villanova alumni. Makes it a 22-12 game.
Well, he's from that old Big East, so he knows all about physicality.
Colors black and blue. Harrison with the foul on Hannah.
That's the right call. But again, the ball pressure, you give a couple fouls, you can swallow those a little bit. You've set the tone with great ball pressure and pushing the Kansas offense way out. Double team, trying to get it out of Frank's hands, and they achieved what they wanted.
Preston with a short clock here. Says nothing doing. Kicks it around back to Mason. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Forced a tough one and hits it.
Now, that is a really difficult shot, and he gets to the end of the clock so poised.
6 points for Frank, his first three-pointer, and that's a part of the Frank Mason story here in TBT. He really hasn't shot the three ball well until we get to the Elam ending.
He has lived for the Elam ending.
Oh, and a turnover here. A poor pass. Mayo takes it up. Just like that, the Kansas alums are within 5.
Got a little momentum right now, and it started with their defense.
Oh, that's going to be a goaltend, I believe. And a foul. Here's that Mason three at the end of the clock.
A really difficult shot. He's got to rock the defense back and shoot over the top with shot clock pressure on him. Great defense by Mayo there, getting through a passing lane and getting an easy one.
And you see the ball hit the glass first, so the basket counts, and a three-point play opportunity for Daryl Morcell. 24-17.
Daryl Morcell's giving them great minutes, another great portal pickup.
Deron Collins on the 08 championship team and the two-time All-America. His number 4 retired all-time at KU. Here's Preston, up and in. Excellent drive.
Physical move, size over the top, and he's got the ability to put it on the floor. They could use him getting some stuff done offensively and driving some of these Kentucky big guys. Archie with a mismatch.
Working on Bragg. But lost the handle. But all's well that ends well. The stick back by Khalil Whitney.
I've got to see that move by Archie again. He got into the lane pretty good. Switch, double team, deflection.
And there's Goodwin poking it away. Whitney out of bounds. Last touched by the Jayhawks.
Let's watch this thing. Woo. He set him up with a couple dribbles there. The one thing I love about Archie, though, too, he defends. He defends.
Yes, he does.
He gets after it. There he goes. He rocks him back a little bit and gets in there.
27-19. McNeil. This is out of bounds to Kansas.
They had McNeil on a clean look there. Just got deflected. Too bad. Love this matchup. Morcell on Mason.
Mason. Good recovery and a takedown by Morcell.
Big time defense by Daryl Morcell.
Former Defensive Player of the Year at Maryland. Goodwin.
You know, Archie almost can get into the lane at will. It's just really a talent. He's made an art of it, and he gets fouled, and he can kick it out to people. And there's just a brilliance about his feel for the game and understanding how to get into the lane to make plays.
Archie Goodwin in Game 3 against the Louisville alums, had the Elam Ender, scored 22, and then against Boeheim's Army here over the weekend, 34 points.
And you know,
outstanding.
That first game, the first quarter, he's really struggling to get a feel, and I'm thinking, God, why did they add this guy? And then in the second half, he went off. I go, that was a great addition. Great pickup.
31 years old out of Little Rock, Arkansas, 28-19. McNeil trying to stick with Mario Chalmers there, had him around the waist. Third team foul.
You got to deal with the body blows of the Kentucky defense continually.
Into the heart of the lane. Bragg had it blocked, and that was Coffee. Chris Coffee.
Big time defensive possession. They double team the pick and roll. They hit the roller, and they still get rotation.
Well, you nicknamed this defense Team 6-5, and they create another turnover for Goodwin.
They're relentless with their athletic ability.
Timeout, Kansas. Team 6-5 can flat D it up, and when they turn it on, Mike, it's a sight to behold and harrowing for the offense.
Just a great feel by Archie to get out in that passing lane.
30-19, Kentucky.
Kraft mac and cheese is better than baseball. No one would ever leave us 7/9 of the way through just to beat traffic. Nothing ever happens in the 8th inning, though, right? What happened? Kraft mac and cheese. Best thing ever.
Altogether fitting and proper in an alumni championship game that one of the magical members of that 78 NCAA champion team, Jack Goose Gibbons, is here to watch it.
Oh, Goose would run off Roby and Phillips, 7 foot 250, and just operate on that baseline. And he was a smooth operator on that baseline back in the day. And he is royalty around here.
Yes, he is. 11 of 17 after an 0 for 5 start for Kentucky. Couple that with the electric defense, and it's reflected in the score, and there's Morcell knocking it away.
When you're a guard, and you're a really good guard, like Mason and Mayo, and you have to deal with this relentless athletic ball pressure, it is demoralizing, and it is exhausting.
It does have a cumulative effect, doesn't it?
It really does. There, they run a double, they get it out of his hands. Their rotation has been fabulous, their recovery. The point of attack, they're all over it. I mean, that is a really difficult shot. And that's about the only hope Kansas has right now. Second shots just keep crashing to hang around till halftime.
Cleveland native Carlton Bragg Jr. with the stick back to make it a 9-point game. 7 offensive rebounds so far for Kansas. McNeil with the bomb.
They ran that elevator action for him. He didn't get it, but he said, you know what? Let me let it rip anyways.
Mayo to the corner. Tapped out to Mason. Frank covered up by Morcell into the pivot and Preston. He'll turn and miss. Bragg, no, but a foul on Kentucky. All right, Mr. McNeil. Boom.
He squared up on that one, and he's feeling good because he made his first one. He made his first one, so he's feeling good. Kansas getting on the backboard, at least here. They get a second shot and get to the foul line to keep hope alive. Because the initial thrust of the Kentucky defense is really kind of demoralizing right now.
Neil talking to Coach Hood. Willie Cauley-Stein back in. Chris Coffey goes off. Carlton Bragg Jr., now 30 years old, played at Kansas from 15 to 17. Averaging 4.3 points in TBT. 33-23.
And they're down 10.
And a pickoff by Chalmers. Controls the dribble. Misses the layup. Goodwin taps it out. Gets it ahead to Morcell. Cross court, McNeil lets it fly. That, friends, was a heat check.
Great pass by Morcell to find him on the other side. And how about Chalmers lining up that steal? He just couldn't finish.
Preston is held. And he and Morcell and Covington do a dance on the baseline to keep each other upright.
One thing Kansas has tried, and it's helped a little bit, they've gotten Preston some low post touches, and at least he's getting fouled, and the ball's at least getting below the foul line sometimes.
Morcell out of the game.
Liggins, another fresh 6'6" guy in to defend.
DeAndre hasn't played a ton, but may have had the pass of the tournament. All the way back to game one, that behind-the-back job that found Whitney for a three was magnificent. And DeAndre, 38 years young, in the game.
I had more guys text me after that behind-the-back pass. Haven't seen one like that in a while.
Preston knocks down the free throw, 33-24.
They're hanging in from the foul line. Get this thing to halftime. The spread right now is, it's 8, but it feels like it should be more. So if you're Kansas, just hang in there, fellas. Let's get to halftime, talk a little bit, get some rest.
A chance to play for $2 million Sunday on the line. Cauley-Stein guides it back. Tip. And a foul. And doing some hard work inside for La Familia.
Whitney's ability to attack the rim, and of course we saw him win it in the Elam with a run the length of the court follow dunk. He's relentless around the basket on the offensive board.
1 year for the Cats at 19-20. And you should look at Coach Collins. Whitney was saying after the game when he hit that game-winning dunk, he said, "That's the highlight of my career."
That's great. And you know what? It was such a heads-up basketball play because he thought, we thought Archie's got the layup for the win. And he misses a layup, and Whitney with a fabulous putback. Great look.
Preston.
Great movement. Great movement. They broke the defense down. That's the first time they broke Kentucky's defense down and were able to swing it for a clean look.
Minute and a half to go. Liggins. And that's going to be out of bounds. That went right through the wicket and ended up on the sideline.
Great penetration, but Yeah. Yeah, that hits the end line. You don't use a challenge yet. You know, wisely using your challenges. I know Kansas talked about being a little more strategic with their challenges. They used one on a block charge call the other night against Wichita early, and then they didn't have it. And I think talking to the coaches, they said we got to sit on that a little bit more and really be sure.
7-point spread, 127. Time remaining in the first half. Mason to the corner. Chalmers no. Tipped. And a stick back by Bragg, and Kansas living on the offensive glass and getting some points out of it.
Bragg has really given them a lift with this offensive rebounding.
35-30. Rescreen, Collie Stein. Harrison bumped. And the foul on Bragg.
Really impressive by Kansas to finish this second quarter strong. Bragg with a big rebound in traffic, and again, he's keeping them alive and giving them hope on the offensive board.
Mike, that's 10 offensive rebounds for Kansas in the first half.
And it's really the only offense they have, because their first shot is so contested and so defended. Just keep running in there and try and get a second shot. And Bragg has done it beautifully.
Harrison connects on the foul shot.
Good to see him healthy. You know, he was out down the stretch the other day, and it's another big guard who can defend and put it on the floor and knows how to play.
Liggins, after the cameo, sits down. Morcell back in. Under a minute in the first half. 37-30 Kentucky. Mario Chalmers. Mayo, he's really found the going rough with this Kentucky D. On the drive, Taylor. 10 seconds to shoot. Mason backs it out.
We got the mismatch.
To the corner, Trailer. Another offensive rebound. That's 11 for the Jayhawks.
Preston and Bragg putting a clinic on the offensive board.
Bragg Mason, a little daylight in the corner. Harrison the board, shot clock off.
I like it in this guy's hands. Stand the
yes, sir. Mayo coming up. Both teams over the limit. Harrison with 3, no. Loose ball to the Jayhawks, and that's going to be the half. So Kentucky settles for a 7-point lead here at halftime. Amari Trailer was the man that went down in a heap on the side, but he's okay. Walks off as we've reached intermission here in Lexington, Kentucky. What a half. A big pile of dough on the line tonight. 37-30 Kentucky leads Kansas at halftime on FS1. Just about set to start the third quarter with Kentucky leading Kansas 37-30. Bob Rathman, Mike Bray back with you. Kentucky led by 12 early. Mike, they got hot and created a little bit of distance between themselves and KU's alum.
And it all comes off their defense, really. It's been relentless. They've gotten up and they've pressured the ball. And then certainly anytime Archie Goodwin has some kind of play in the offensive side of the floor, letting him make decisions. That was a side out of bounds play. Throw it to him and get out of the way and let him fire one over the top. And then he defends. That's what I love about him. He's also part of this group that defends. So he has given them a great lift, and their defense has given him a great lift.
And for Kansas, living on the offensive glass.
And this is how they're going to have to survive. They must get to the backboard. That's the one offensive possession that looked kind of like their offense. But on the backboard, relentless, that's what they've got to do.
11 offensive rebounds for the Jayhawks. And you see the turnover story as well. But overall, sub 30% shooting for Kansas.
Yeah, and again, when you have a hard time entering the ball offensively, as Kansas has against Kentucky's defense, there's not many options. They just got to keep crashing and keep driving and hope for some fouls. Now, Kentucky has got to do a better job. Their perimeter, they're doing a great job guarding on the perimeter. They got to help rebound now. They got to get down there and help defensive rebound. It can't be all on Cauley Stein on the defensive backboard.
The great Jayhawk, Sharon Collins, the head coach of Jayhawks Hoop. Former champion John Hood, the head coach at Kentucky. And this half will decide it. And, of course, we get to the Elam ending when things really get crazy.
And it's funny you say crazy. I had two guys text me like, hey, the Elam ending really makes players crazy. I go, good way of putting it.
That comes in the fourth quarter. Here we go. Kentucky ball to start the second half. Maynard Bell at the top. Here's Goodwin. Driving baseline. Single coverage now. Spin short. Cauley Stein fighting. Out of bounds. Kentucky ball.
Great defense. Tough shot. Archie's forced into a fadeaway, but Cauley Stein keeping it alive. Out of bounds under. They won a game on an out of bounds under.
That was game one against the Ville to start TBT. Maynard Bell long. Cauley Stein has it. Now tipped away. Billy Preston for the Kansas alums. Mayo. Well, he has had a rough night. Can't get a clean look. Gives it up inside. And it's out of bounds.
Really good pass by Zeke Mayo.
Trailer saying, where was the foul? There was none. It is physical, it's tough, but it's fair inside.
I think they've let them play the whole tournament. They've let guys play. The officials have done a great job understanding these guys are used to physicality. They've been pros.
Goodwin, again, that defense, Mike Gray.
I mean, he could be the defensive MVP too so far. He has done amazing things and at key times.
Familia by 9. And a whistle stops the Frank Mason, the third drive. Look at the hands. This is the second time he's picked one off at the top.
Again, when you have wingspan in this game, and I've seen it in the NBA for 3 years, it's amazing the wingspan on the court. Archie really has that wingspan that just makes him make plays that other guys can't.
Another pass goes inside, and man, a lot of contact. Andrew Harrison lowering the boom on that one.
I wonder if they will look at this, because
that seemed a little much. As you see Harrison crashing into Jamari Traylor, and they are going to do exactly that. Traylor was the man who went down at the end of the half and was in that same prone position, and that drew the ire of Coach Collins.
In the same spot too.
Yes, exactly.
That's the same place he ended up. But you know, I don't think it was on purpose, but when you hit somebody above the shoulders, neck, head, you probably got to penalize this.
After a 12-hour bus ride and all that contact, I think a chiropractor appointment tomorrow is in order.
And I think the thing that's going to get it, the wrap up. Watch him wrap up on the way down. Left hand, he wraps up. That's really intentional, egregious. That's just not a common foul.
So the officials taking a look at the same replays that you're looking at. We'll see what the penalty is here on Andrew Harrison.
And, you know, as an official, you administer this the right way now so it doesn't get to another level. And so these guys are veterans. Just, you know, fellas, we need to step on this one right here, and that'll help us get to the end of the game without anything else.
A little quicker whistle after this would be in order. But it is taking a while. And here comes Over to see us, Wes Ford. What you got, Wes?
Graded to a flagrant 1 foul on Andrew for unnecessary contact. We have 2 shots and the ball right underneath the KU.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Yeah, I think where you got to make the upgrade is to wrap up with the left hand. On the way down, you wrap up, and Harrison's trying to protect himself a little bit from not flipping onto his head, but when you wrap up, that's automatic.
The decision being explained in front of the Jayhawks bench. So we've got to get the free throws administered here. Harrison didn't like that call, but Coach Hood is trying to get him to calm down and understand the bigger picture.
Well, they also heard a lot about the end of the half play from the Kansas bench and coaching staff. But again, I think as soon as he wrapped up as he was falling, it's not a common foul anymore.
Carlton Bragg is going to shoot the free throws. Bill Covington is coming over.
Yeah, he was vulnerable and he wrapped him, right? Yep. Vulnerable player hit.
Got it. He's been rubbing the back of his neck there. Bragg goes 1 for 2, 39-31.
Why throw a little Bengay on that neck and get him back in there to offensive rebound? Because he's been unbelievable.
They got to have a heat pad somewhere here in the arena. Chris Coffey's checked in for Kentucky. Here's Mason. Cauley-Stein coming out, gets back. And Mayo threw the head back, and that drew the foul on Goodwin.
It's the right call. You know, when you have a guy like Bragg over there holding his neck, and I mean, he impeded his progress, and he's wondering, and that's when, as a coach, I would say, you're ready to go, right? And he almost, the guy goes, yeah. You almost talk him into it a little bit. You're good, right?
10 seconds on the shot clock. Mayo. Jacob Hanna, a deep three. Preston comes up with the loose ball and lays it off, no good. Jump. And the ball will belong to Kansas on the alternate possession.
The fabulous defensive possession by Kentucky. They are double teaming Frank Mason and making him give it up, and other guys have to make plays, and it's been hard for Kansas.
You know, the other guy who's been so hot the last 2 games is Zeke Mayo. He cannot get an open look tonight.
They have really defended him.
This is he. Mayo gives it up from the sideline. Hanna misses.
You know, you work so hard just to get a shot. You don't have many legs left when you're playing against a defense like Kentucky's.
Maynard Bell rolled it off the rim. Third quarter from Lexington. Another steal over the top, intended for Archie Goodwin. Jayhawks get it back, and here's Mayo, and he's got Cauley-Stein to deal with.
And Cauley-Stein's been switching on guards the last 10 years.
And an air ball from Mayo. Zeke is now 0 for 5 on threes, and the crowd here letting him hear about it.
Willie is very comfortable switching on guards. He'll drop, he'll switch on a guard, gives you different looks all the time in pick and roll.
Morcell. Cauley-Stein finds Maynard Bell. He'll drive it. 10 on the shot clock. Goodwin defended by Jacob Hanna. Step back. Off. Hannah leaks out. In on Marcel, and a tremendous rejection by Whitney. Or by Maynard Bell, excuse me. Here is Mason. Bragg lets it go. That rims out.
Great recovery by the Kentucky defense.
And this one goes out of bounds and a foul. Man, this is something. This Kentucky defense. Keep your eye on Chris Coffey.
What a recovery. What a recovery. The athletic ability to recover and make that play.
Boy, they are making noise in Lexington as Archie Goodwin steps up to the line.
We were talking earlier with some of the Kentucky staff. He's not shot free throws like he usually has. You know, he's probably an 80% career free throw shooter. And I don't know if he's made 2 when he's gotten to the line. It'd be great to see him make 2 here.
He came into the game 10 of 18 at the foul line in the tournament.
That's just amazing for him.
And splits the pair. Well, we've had a whole lot of action, but not a whole lot of points. 40-31. 3 of 6 tonight. Mayo. That thing's up for grabs, and it's a loose ball to Goodwin. I don't know how he got that one to go around Preston.
What a difficult layup. But doesn't he always seem to be in the right spot on leak-outs and steals defensively?
Yep. Mason flips it off, no good. Rebound, La Familia. Morcell, Coffey, and foul.
Now, my T-shirt for next year's TBT. TBT, not for the faint of heart. Because this thing is at another level physically right now.
Boy, Preston did everything he could to try to get that shot. Couldn't stop Archie Goodwin. Now Chris Coffey to the line. One of Kentucky's portal players out of Georgetown College.
Been a great energy guy off the bench for them. And did a great job guarding Montrezl Harrell.
Yes, he did.
He was doing the dirty work against Montrezl.
If you were with us last week at Game 1 of that Louisville series, Coffey had 8 rebounds, 6 offensive against the Cardinal alumni. Second shot for the 29-year-old Louisville native. Largest lead for the Cats at 13. Kansas is 0 for 9 from the floor this quarter and 0 for 4 on threes. And KU's going to take a timeout.
It's a good timeout. Good timeout to regroup here a little bit.
We have talked, Mike, so often about the Elam ending. And you have to shift the way you look at the game management. As a coach, well, we'll talk about it when we come back. How about that? 4:27 left in the third, a timeout in Lexington.
I'm Harry Wilson.
Weston McKinney.
Michael Correa.
This group of players have no fear.
Growing up, my dream was to walk out at a World Cup.
It's going to be the game of our lives.
TBT fans, show your pride and support your favorite team with official merchandise. Shop now at thetournament.com and represent your team all tournament long. Bob Rath and Mike Bray back with you in Lexington, Kentucky. And we were talking, Mike, about the Elam ending. And even though we're midway through the third quarter, here's Kansas down by 13. I think you have to begin to think about the end of the third quarter, get this thing down to 10 or under, and then get it even further down by the time you get to the Elam ending.
No question, Bob. Talking to veteran TBT coaches, they said, 13 at the Elam break, there's no way, right? It's impossible. Can you get it to single digits? Can you get it to 7? And you got to start thinking about that now if you're Kansas.
They have been suffocated by this defense. And A foul is going to be called here on Daryl Morcell.
13-4.
Side out of bounds for the Jayhawks. But they can't get a look, Kansas.
How physically they are attacking ball screens is really kind of coaching clinic stuff.
Andrew Harrison in for Morcell. 4:17, third quarter, 44-31. Mayo pressured. Preston lines it up.
They're making the guards. Mayo just give it up out of the double team, and somebody else has to make a play.
Jayhawks 0 for 10. Good one. A rebound to Traylor. And Mason had it knocked out of bounds. Lil Whitney defending. I mean, they have been suffocating with the defense. Look at the double on the ball. And tipped away. Coffey nearly had the steal. Preston pitches it ahead. And a foul as Hannah got blocked.
Whitney's rotation on this. He chopped down to get the foul, but his recovery. I mean, there's just no easy looks for Cam. Everything is so draining just to get the first shot.
It's amazing to see the transformation of La Familia. They got spanked at Freedom Hall by 20. Goodwin comes back. He takes care of rejuvenating the offense, and then the defense from Game 3 against the Ville has been just like this.
It's just amazing how double team, give it up, and they've rotated through the passing lanes all night and got deflections, but it's making somebody else make basketball plays, getting it out of Mayo's hands and Mason's hands.
Hannah, who has averaged just under 12 a game, has scored 6 in tonight's contest. 44-32. And a foul.
You know what's legal in the TBT? Remember the old hand check in the NBA?
Yes.
The hand check is back, baby.
One of the great defensive guards of all time was Alvin Robertson of the San Antonio Spurs, and he would put his hand on your hip, and he would just guide you right around the court, to the concession stand, to the locker room. He just that little hand check all the way around.
Oh,
more contact and more whistles with 3:12 to go in the third.
little pick and roll, and Archie, because of his length, can throw over the top of a double team. Took Coffey on a roll.
Fouls on Preston, his second, team fourth.
Fourth team foul on the Jayhawks will send Chris Coffey to the foul line. Billy Preston with his first foul. Coffey rattles it home, averaging 5 a game and shooting 55% at the line. Ron Collins looking up at that board, and it doesn't look good right now for Kansas, down 13 and maybe 14 if Coffey can connect. Now we've got a hold. This is going to be on La Familia. Or is it? No, it's going to be on Kansas.
On Kansas, a hold on the block out.
Maybe Traylor the guilty party. It's going to be his second.
And they're in the bonus.
And you see Traylor just the hand-to-hand combat in the paint.
How would you like to deal with Whitney physically if that's your matchup? You know, for one, he's guarding you. Then you got to try and block him out. And then you got to try and stay in front of him if he drives you. It's exhausting.
Whitney
Checking into JHX, number 25.
has a career high of 18 in his TBT history. Kentucky's lead is 14. Whitney tonight has 5 points and a perfect 3 of 3 at the foul line. You were talking about the foul shooters. Well, Whitney's come through, and of course we jinx him. But how How about the sky for the rebound by Coffey? Oh, my goodness. Goodwin coughs it up and a foul.
Where did Coffey come from? We got to see this one.
Man, he just split the two defenders and one-hands it.
They don't get a body on him, but you give him a running start, that's like a long jumper.
Andrew Orr committed the foul, and Goodwin to the line. The tournament's leading scorer at 26 points a game. It's like, with the home crowd, it's like he's getting ready to putt.
Yeah.
It gets so quiet in here.
Kentucky basketball fans have their etiquette. They really do. They're so trained through the years, right? All right, he made two in a row.
There you go. 48-32. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Mayo, and a bad pass by Chalmers. Ahead, McNeil lets it go. In and out. And there, again, the relentless pursuit of the basketball by Chris Coffey.
Defensive possession again, pushed up. It's so neat to see a team just their identity. They know we're going to guard. We're going to guard for the $2 million. We're going to guard you for the $2 million.
That was a block by Goodwin on the Mason drive. Out of bounds to the Jayhawks with 20 on the shot clock. Chalmers kicked by McNeil. A shot clock reset to 20.
You know, a guy like McNeil, he's not known to be a defender, right? He's a shooter. He's even joined the party. He's pressuring the ball. He thinks he can guard everybody.
Preston. And another track down block by Kentucky. My goodness. McNeil changes hands, and with the left. 50-32, foul on Goodwin. Boy, here we go, Mike. And more of that Kentucky D. This time from Whitney.
The Whitney recovery, and then McNeil here off the dribble with the left hand. Just great drive and feel.
Craig Mason, the third with the free throw. Boy, Preston thought he had a layup.
It's just, you know, it's demoralizing because Kentucky's guards rotate back and block stuff.
0 for 12 from the floor this quarter. Couple of free throws for Mason. 50-34 with 2:07 to go in the third. Kentucky with an impressive second half. Harrison. I tell you what, you drive the ball in TBT, you got to make a business decision.
You get in that paint, you're right. You get in there and be ready. But strong drive by Harrison. Kentucky's or Kansas's, they're worn down. You know, they have taken these body blows now for pretty much 3 quarters, this defensive pressure, and it's really worn them down. Playing with a little bit of a smaller lineup. They've got their bigs. Kansas got their bigs out of the game, and
overall, the Jayhawks are shooting 22% for the night, 3 of 20 on threes. And we got a foul on the Jayhawks.
Fouls on Coffey in his first.
Oh no, a correction. Chris Coffey with the foul.
Coffey over the back. We said this about Coffey throughout the tournament. He knows who he is. He comes in energizes with rebounding and slashing and defending.
Andrew Orr connects.
Checking in for Familia, number 31, James.
James Maynard-Bell comes in for Andrew Harrison.
So Kansas has really gone small. Both bigs are out of the game.
And really, Kentucky has countered the same way.
And when Cauley Stein goes out, you know, that's how Kentucky's played, and they switch everything and get up on you. Double fist. Let's see what we got.
Morcell works the two-man game. Picked off by Chalmers. Frank Mason. Tip to Morcell. Down the middle. Whitney. Followed by Coffey.
Coffey and Whitney relentless on the backboard.
There's no decaf to be found. It's all straight.
It's
Espresso from Chris Coffey and the lay-in by Mason.
stopped the bleeding a little bit.
First bucket of the half for Kansas. 52-37.
Little stagger screen for McNeil, and the whole side is kind of cleared.
Yep, and Morcell gets fouled and the basket flexes after the strong move to get two.
You know, this...
That's Coffey's follow.
He gets a head of steam to the backboard, and it's just over. 1 foot jumper up off of that. And Morcell's here. This is almost like he got the first down and won. I mean, he got the first down and won.
54-37 with the free throw to come. Morcell's been outstanding.
He's just known his role. He's guarding. He scored when they needed him to score. Drives, just really good passer and feel for the game.
Out of Baltimore, Mount St. Joseph's High School. Played for the Terps and a grad year at Marquette. He's been terrific and a great defender that fits in perfectly with what Kentucky wants to do.
And Coach Hood said he wanted Mason. Like, I got him.
Frank misses. Final seconds of the third quarter. Kentucky rolling.
They're trying to get organized here, but it comes to a little screen and roll, and there's the lob.
Cauley Stein picked up by Coffey. It is your night tonight, young man.
He is around the ball. What do they call it? Nose for the ball. He's got it. You know, that's a hard one to catch for Cauley Stein. But there's Coffey again, just on the board and running to the rim. I don't think you can block him out.
No.
Get it.
And he just sort of slithers his way through around the defenders. He's got 7 points and 5 rebounds, and I had to do a double take on the stat sheet. That's all.
It's amazing. He goes through an offensive position and he goes, I don't even want to touch it. No, don't throw it to me. I'll get it. My pass is a missed shot. I'm going to go get it.
And blows a kiss after the free throw. 5 seconds. 3, 2. Here is Mason. And the quarter mercifully ends for Kansas. What a nightmare for the Jayhawks.
A defensive clinic in the third quarter.
La Familia absolutely took Kansas out of anything it wanted to do, and the scoreboard reflects it. Up 21 through 3.
He got him.
Saturday night is baseball night in America, and this week 2 iconic clubs shine under the lights in prime time as Ben Rice and the Yankees face Pete Crow Armstrong and the Cubs Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox. Well, Mike Bray, if Saturday night is baseball night, Wednesday night belongs to Kentucky. They dominate the third quarter and turn it into a block party.
They are rotating over. How about that? Blocking jump shots, recovery, and when they block stuff, they punch it off the rim, and it kind of demoralizes you. The whole place hears it hit the backboard. Nobody wants to go to the basket anymore.
6 total blocks for the Cats.
You're like a highlight film of shots being blocked off the top of your head. Just impressive defensively and recovery.
1 of 15 from the field. La Familia will be playing for $2 million on Sunday unless there is a dramatic turn of events here. Elam ending at the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Cauley Stein to the cutting Coffee. He'll shoot 2 more free throws.
How about that play and execution? Willie Cauley Stein, I love his feel for the game. They hit him on the roll. He's defended, and he makes the extra pass on a slashing Coffee. Just beautiful stuff. He feels the rotation. Coffee to the foul line, who's taken advantage of his free throws.
Chris Coffey led Georgetown to the 2019 NAIA D1 National title. He was the tournament MVP, All-America that season. Player of the Year again in 2020. His team that year, in COVID year, went 30-2.
It's Dennis Rodman stuff. It's just I'm going to rebound, I'm going to guard. I'm just going to be a pain to deal with, but I don't need to shoot a jump shot.
But a foul coming on Maynard Bell against Preston.
You know, they couldn't get Preston enough touches off the double teams because he can put it on the floor and make some plays, but they just haven't been able to get it to him.
Mayo shot an air ball earlier, is reminded of that.
Look at Cauley Stein, 7-1. He's flying all over the place.
And a bucket for Jamari Traylor. Boy, he played a ton of games in a Jayhawk uniform. 59-39. Good one. Open look.
It's too easy.
And there's your toll that the defense takes. You get a guy like Goodwin sitting there and said, oh man, I just don't have it to go out there and get him. Preston.
You're right. You're right, Bob. There's just exhaustion on the part of, like, how are we really going to get back in this? We're not going to pick up full court. We can't really turn them over. We don't have the energy to turn Kentucky over. You're hoping they miss and you come down and hit a couple threes, maybe.
Well, this is what we were talking earlier. Mike had made the great point about the Elam ending. You're so far buried by the time you get to the Elam ending. Kentucky's only going to have to score 8 points, and you're going to have to score 28.
28. No, it's an amazing uphill climb. They're picking up a little bit full court right now, but you know, when you have someone like Goodwin handling the ball and controlling the tempo, and they're kind of grinding in their half court now and using some shot clock.
Strip. Goodwin gets it back, then carries it out of bounds. Last touched by Frank Mason. 15 on the shot clock.
You know, you're talking about guys at college careers. We got guys out here that played over 100 college games. That is just unbelievable experience when you've played triple-digit college games.
Not to mention what they played in the pros. Harrison. Deflected. Mayo out of bounds when he touched it. 3.7 on the clock. Elam ending at the 4-minute mark.
Side out of bounds here.
Goodwin had to heave it at the double team. Rebound to Mayo.
Look at them chase the ball.
Relentless. Underneath for Andrew Orr.
That's the easiest field goal attempt they've gotten in the second half.
The pressure out front, Mike, has been outrageous.
To Coach Hood's credit, we are double teaming and running at every ball screen.
Cauley-Stein gets rid of it again. Whitney.
What a great play by Cauley-Stein, though. Catches the roll, kicks out, clean look. They used some shot clock, though.
And one for Traylor.
Heck of a left hand in traffic for the end one.
Foul on Harrison. A timeout. 6:19 to play on the game clock. 62-45 Kentucky. Oh, we mentioned at the top of our telecast tonight about the bluest of blue bloods, Kansas and Kentucky. Kentucky, the most wins. Kansas, #2 all-time in the history of college basketball, and they have 12 titles between them. The last coming for Kentucky in 2012 for the win over Kansas in 67-59. Great history, great tradition. Of course, Coach Rupp here in Lexington learned from Fog Allen, and I just love the history of the game.
Two of the greatest brands in the history of college basketball. There are no other brands better. Carolina and Duke are up there, right? You can talk about them, but just amazing basketball tradition, and we've been here for a while and hearing about Rupp, and certainly Coach Calipari, Coach Pitino got it done here, and then Kansas, their history, and Dean Smith coming out of that Kansas network.
And the fan base here in Lexington, as it is in Lawrence, a knowledgeable fan base.
Really are. I was in town a little bit this morning, and everybody already has their opinions on who Mark Pope should start and who should come off the bench the whole bit.
Morsell. And speaking of Kansas and Kentucky, they will play each other in November in the Champions Classic in Chicago.
So it's their rotation in the Champions.
Yes.
Active hands again. Started with Goodwin on the ball.
He does it. 67-46. This joint will be jumping Sunday at 1 o'clock.
I was saying that whoever comes out of the Vegas bracket better be ready.
Mayo.
Finally got one to go down.
That had to feel good. It's been a mighty frustrating night for the Jayhawk shooters. 67-49.
Really controlling tempo now. Want to get to that? Let's get to the Elam.
Off the bounce, Morsell.
Two big buckets by Morsell in the mid-range, which he is so gifted in that area.
Mason. That's a blocking foul after the block by Cauley-Stein.
That's a clean block. I don't think so. That was on the way up. Great recovery. They want the three-point play, but
2 free throws coming.
Mason at the line, shooting 2.
We've talked about Daryl Morsell and his strength in the mid-range. Just a nice, shakes him a little bit, gets him back on his back foot and sticks a 15-footer. And he's just really known his role. He doesn't force anything. He kind of fits in.
Frank short with it. Here comes Maynard Bell in.
Familia, number 31.
Harrison to the bench. The other part of the Kentucky performance, not only tonight, since they got it going against Louisville here in Game 3, I've been impressed with their unselfishness.
I agree with you. They've really kicked it out. I think Archie showing up, Archie Goodwin getting into the lane and kicking out. I thought in a couple games he kicked it out too much because they weren't making shots. And I was at Archie, try and score or get fouled. And he's done that a little bit at Elam time. But he, I think, has got it contagious of moving it and sharing it. And when you've got him handling like this up top, kind of controlling tempo, it's a pretty good way to get to the Elam ending.
Seven on the shot clock.
Kansas
Matters
with
not.
their own double team.
Mayo. And that's 2 for him. 69-53. Now, La Familia can just take it down to the 4-minute mark, call the timeout, and set the Elam ending. And that's going to happen right now. Clock ticks, 3:59. Well played by Coach Hood. Establish the target score. And we do that by adding 8 points to the Kentucky total. They'll play to 77. Kentucky needs 8. Kansas needs 24. We'll have it for you when we come back after this. Time for the Elam ending, and if you're not familiar, we stop the game clock at the 4-minute mark in the 4th. That's been done. And we have turned off the game clock now for the remainder and set the target score, adding 8 to Kentucky's total. So these teams will play to 77. The shot clock is still in effect. Team foul situation. La Familia has 4. Jayhawks have 1. Timeouts are 2-1. Jayhawks. And this is no team in the history of the TBT since we instituted the Elam ending has ever come back from a deficit this large inside the Elam ending.
We've talked about the depth of Kentucky, but how about the lift McNeil, Coffey, and Whitney have given Kentucky, and I think it's their great advantage in this tournament.
Tough third quarter for Kansas. They were outscored 21-7, and really that was the game. Now the Kentucky alums trying to put it away. Get ready for Sunday. Morcell leans in. Coffey knocked away. Goodwin has it. Fires it. Banks it in at the end of the shot clock.
A tough shot maker. Daryl Morcell's laughing on that one.
5 away for Kentucky. Preston loses the handle. And this may change. Yes, they're going to change the call, give the ball to Kentucky. Look at that. I mean, saved it from going out of bounds and knew the clock was draining on him. Got it off, banked it in. And the Kentucky faithful erupted.
He has made more tough shots, end of clock stuff after deflections.
Morcell lost it. Shot clock at 17. A logo 3 for Mayo. Preston for 3.
Big time rebound.
Coffey hands it over to Goodwin. Mason with the steal. And it popped out. How did that happen? Wide open on the wing. Morcell, no. And there he is again. Chris Coffey with the offensive glass. Ahead of the pack, Mason. That one goes to make it 72-55.
How about the defense by Mason on Goodwin? Picked him at half court.
A lot of pride out there. Morcell driving. Hannah. Ollie Stein, another rebound. You know, if you're Kentucky, Mike, take your time.
Yeah.
Get good shots. Don't get in a hurry to end it.
Little excited. You got plenty of time on that shot clock. Again, it's 30. It's not 24, which has been an adjustment for these guys. They've been playing with the 24 for.
Maynard Bell, offensive rebound. La Familia 5 away. Good one against Mason from the sideline. Ollie Stein runs it down.
You know what's amazing about the Elam? The whole crowd is up too.
Oh yeah.
They're up too.
Everybody standing. Morcell. Ollie Stein, and they're 3 away.
What a pass by Daryl Morcell.
Kentucky can end it with a 3 next time down.
Is 3 points away.
5th time for the Jayhawks in TBT. This is the deepest run they've made. You know it has been a very tough night for Kansas faithful everywhere.
And it was, you know, they had to really invest to win on the road at Wichita.
They won 3 straight elimination games to get here.
Yeah.
With 2 on the road, 1 at K-State and the other at Wichita State. Here's Mason with the personal.
Fouls on Mason, his 3rd, team second.
Second team foul, side out of bounds for La Familia. A 3-ball ends it and sets up Kentucky in the championship game on Fox on Sunday at 1 Eastern time. The Vegas championship tomorrow, and that's at 7 Eastern time right here on FS1.
He went for the dagger like the other night.
Mid-floor for Mason. Tipped in. Carlton Bragg makes it 74-57.
He's done his work on the offensive board, but not enough for Kansas.
Good one holding. Give it back to Ollie Stein, deflected. Mayo to Mason. Morcell gonna drive it, lob it. Ollie Stein, they're 1 away.
That's a new fast break where you throw it off the backboard after you fumble it and get a tip in. New 3-on-1 drill. Both teams are exhausted though at this point.
Morcell brings it down. The Elam ender, no. Mayo clears and gives to Mason. Nice drive by Jacob Hannah. One more bucket and a quick timeout here for La Familia. Everybody bending in the waist, grabbing the shorts.
Yeah, they are worn out, but you know, I understand it. Kentucky's been in a defensive stance from the tip, and Kansas just not quite enough bodies, and they've done a fabulous job on every ball screen, blitzing it, trapping it, and making somebody else make a play.
Here is where we are in terms of TBT 2026. This is the alumni bracket, and you're watching the alumni final between Kentucky and Kansas. The winner advances, and Kentucky just needs one more point. They'll be in that game against the Vegas winner. That will be determined tomorrow night here on FS1. The Sunday game for the $2 million prize, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. And there is the other side with Davis Steele and the Mecca going at it in the Vegas portion of this tournament. That's on FS1 tomorrow night at 7 Eastern Time. And those are two teams. We've been watching the Vegas bracket, Mike. Two teams, very big, very talented. That's going to be a heck of a game.
No, that's an interesting matchup because there's size out there in Vegas. There's no question about it. It's going to come down to what it came down to with Mason and Mayo. Can they handle the ball against Kentucky's ball pressure and defense over the course of the game? And that is a big chore for any guards on any team coming in here.
Now, the format has changed from last year to this year. But the fact remains that last year, Wichita State made their run at home. 6 home games, won them all, claimed the championship. Kentucky's looking at the same thing. 6 games, all at home, except for the one in Freedom Hall. But basically, they've been home here for 2 weeks. They have the deciding game 3 here. A huge advantage.
Huge advantage, and this home crowd has been fabulous for them. And where they've really helped them, when your home crowd is loud when you're on defense, you never feel tired and you feel more confident. And I think it really has helped them here, and it will Sunday.
Lob broken up. Mayo took it out of bounds. Kentucky ball, 12 to shoot.
They went to their go-to play out of the timeout where they roll Cauley Stein, but a deflection.
Morcell intercepted by Mason. Preston. And gets the foul.
You know, it's so interesting now with a big lead in the Elam, right? Kentucky's had some empty possessions and thrown it away. And the crowd starts to panic a little bit. But you look up and go, hey, just relax. I would have said, play defense without fouling, please.
Preston hits the free throw. You know, it's interesting here in the Elam ending. Yeah, the Jayhawks have pretty much dominated. But they're so far down. You know, you look up, they're still 16 away.
Yeah, that is just a deep hole. But take a deep breath, Kentucky, and see if you can get a good offensive possession, and remember to crash the backboard right now.
Goodwin.
Yeah.
And he can win it at the foul line.
I really like when he starts getting into the lane and making people foul him and make plays on him at the rim.
Yeah, banged his head. Maybe on a camera. Let's see what happened at the end of the play here as Archie goes up through the 2 defenders as he came down. Oh, it went out of our screen.
Yeah, I mean, he gets bumped on it, and he hit the knee of the cameraman.
Yeah. One free throw to end it here for Kentucky.
Well, it's fitting that this young man is at the line for the win and the advance to the championship.
He'll get another try. For the win. We play on. Maynard Bell got stripped. Turnover. Kansas gets it back. And a trip, loose ball, 2-on-1 the other way. Goodwin going up. And a foul. And this is going to be An offensive foul.
Charge. Let's look
on
at it.
Goodwin.
He did put his head down and go. Let's watch it. Great call. That's the right call. Everybody's anxious in here to finish it. But you're still up 15.
The Element does something to me.
It does, and now the fans, it just, and if you're coaching it, if you're in Kentucky, I'm thinking like, fellas, relax. We're going to get a lot more chances to win it. Just don't foul on the other end.
And Kansas, you would think that they would do nothing but shoot threes as many points as they need, but they keep driving the ball. Tipped in by Preston.
You feel it. Feel the crowd.
I know. They're getting like
They're like,
One more point for La Familia.
Pick and roll with Morcell and Cauley Stein.
Rebound, Kansas.
It is hard to finish in this tournament.
Mayo. That gives Kansas 65. They're still 12 away. Kentucky needs 1 point.
Exhaustion. Flat out exhaustion on both sides.
Right. Goodwin corkscrews. Got it! And the Cats put him away.
Very fitting that he wins it again for him.
It's on to the championship.
Onward.
Archie Goodwin finishes with 28.
He has put on a show since he's shown up for Kentucky, and I am so impressed with their defense, Bob. And whoever shows up in here Sunday, be ready, baby. They're coming after you.
Congratulations to Familia.
4 wins down, 1 to go for the Kentucky Wildcat alum.
$1 million winner takes all.
Well, I'm signing off on this one. I won't be here with you for the championship, but I absolutely loved it. And I'll be watching from the starboard in Dewey Beach, Delaware, Sunday with a cocktail in my hand.
Well, Mike Bray, it's been fabulous to have you with us.
Coach, congrats.
Coach Hood coming by to say hello, see him on Sunday. But Mike, this has been awesome. I hope you've had fun with TBT because it's different than anything else.
I've had a blast. Being around the Kentucky and Louisville fan base and even Kansas now has been fun. And great energy in this building. All right, here we go for the win. He kind of said, you know, I'm just going to back this guy down. He's smaller than me, and I'm going to shoot the fadeaway over the top of him. Thank you. Let me get out of here.
Archie Goodwin. He had 28 points tonight. He had 30 against Boeheim's Army. Unquestionably the MVP of TBT to date. He missed the first 2 games, joined the ball club for game 3. And La Familia has moved on as the alumni champ and now play for the $2 million on Sunday. And there it is. Kentucky ready to go Sunday here in Lexington at 1 p.m. And they'll meet the winner of the Mecca Davis Steel non-alumni final tomorrow.
Certainly great advantage. You get to stay here and rest, and they've got to travel.
And these Kentucky fans are saying, how do we get tickets for Sunday?
This place will be sold out Sunday. I've been listening to the fans pregame. It'll be rocking.
The final score tonight, Kentucky 78, Kansas 65. Join us for the Vegas title That's tomorrow at 7 right here on FS1. For Mike Bray, our entire crew, Bob Rantham, thanking you for joining us. We say so long from Lexington, Kentucky.